Now, doctors have issued a warning today for those tempted by weight loss jabs. Only use the jab if you really need it, and only get it from your doctor. So currently, anyone is able to buy the jabs online after filling in a health questionnaire. Some people, though, are bypassing that and going straight to black market dealers. And you know, it's a very difficult topic, weight, because, being overweight, it affects so many people. And you can understand why people want a quick fix, Denise. But there are concerns now about, has it tipped too far now? Everyone was hailing these jabs, weren't they? And saying, oh, this is wonderful for people with diabetes and obesity. And now there are all these concerns that people are taking them when they don't need them.
Anything safely monitored by doctors that reduces obesity and morbid obesity is a good thing. Obviously, we have many of the tabloids trying to, denigrate these jabs. But I have made it a mission, as I work sometimes for a diet company as well, and it's about changing your relationship with food. So I think that as long as, you have been prescribed it by a doctor, I agree. Of course, there are all of these online pharmacies in some very, very dodgy places, and we hear some of the side effects. Every drug has side effects. But it's about whatever you're doing, it's about changing your relationship with food at the same time, because we know that if you just pile it back on again. But I think that we are all a little bit obsessed with weight. And I recently had to lose a couple of stone because of sleep apnea. And I was told that if I didn't, I could be at risk of a heart attack or stroke within 10 years. And I feel so much better having done it, because I had learned how to change my relationship with food when I first, but what had happened was, over the years, my weight had just crept up again. So I went back to the origins of what I used and the company that I used, and lost it safely and effectively. But the magazines are to blame as well. If you have somebody who is clearly overweight in a swim costume, the magazines will say, such and such celebrates her curves. What they're saying is she's fat, OK? And then I remember years ago when I'd lost lots of weight and I'd lost it. Linda and I both suffer from depression. I'd had a major depressive episode. I was drinking too much and I'd got too thin. And on the front of the magazine was, Denzi, stop, you've gone too far, and you can't win. But at the time, I remember I was so screwed up about it all, I was pleased to see that headline. And it really shocked me into thinking, what has become of me that I am thinking in terms of, you're too thin.
This is the thing, Mylene. It affects people, their mental health so badly, doesn't it? If they are considered obese, or then they're struggling to lose weight and people have an opinion about it.
Oh, it's the scrutiny.
So you can understand why people are turning, even if it's without, the recommendation from a doctor, which it should be, and you should be monitored. But, it affects people, and it affected you in your career. People told you that you were overweight.
I was 18 years old when I was first told that I needed to lose weight, and this is after I'd just been given the job. And that's the exact photo of me in my very first job. So I was in the West End.
And that's when they told you lose weight when you're, tiny.
Yeah, and I was a Miss Saigon there, and I was told in front of an entire stage production of people. And when you're 18 years old and you don't have that armour that, the years bring, and that confidence...
So did it in front of everybody?
In front of everybody. There must have been about, 80 people in the room. I remember really clearly just thinking, well, I just got the job, but now I'm being told to change. And that scrutiny, it hasn't really changed. And this is not really a complaint, rather just an observation, because then straight after that job, I went into the band, into Hearsay, and there's scrutiny around our weight. We were called the fattest band in pop, the ugliest band in pop. It was just relentless.
And what about the people around you? Was your weight being monitored? Did they say, yeah, you do have to keep a hand on this?
We had one tour manager. We had a tour manager whose job it was to do like a sweep before we went into a dressing room, just to see if there was any food in there that we could possibly get our hands on.
It's unbelievable.
We also had a stylist who was cutting the labels out of clothes, who was doing it for all the other bands as well. So almost like that we weren't allowed to know our own clothes sizes, just in case.
And also, I know Frankie's talked about this, within a band, that you're looking at the others going, oh, no, they're slimmer than me. Am I the chubby one now? And, I better be careful.
And, of course, with Instagram, it's all compare and despair, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
That's all that we do. That's all that we do.
Yeah. Well, it is difficult. And actually, the reason that we're talking about this as well is that it has been reported today that there have been some deaths caused by weight loss jabs. I don't have all the details of that, but there are now some great concerns by medical professionals saying it needs to be monitored.
It needs to be monitored, but there are side effects to every to every drug, as we know. But I think combating morbid obesity is a great thing in the in the main.
Yeah, but as they say, we have to add that note of caution that you should speak to your GP, your doctor, if you are thinking of using these jabs, and you see if you can be recommended by them, and you need to be monitored.